Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel, I hope you are all doing well. Sorry if I'm speaking quite silently, I hope you hear me well, but I'm not alone, I'm in public, I'm at the Eurostar in Brussels waiting for the train to go to London, because you know it today, I will go there for a watch party organized by One Football and Serie A, Udinese, Juventus. Today we need to speak about the game. I can't wait to see all the Juventini together to experience that, and I don't know what kind of surprises we will have there. But most importantly, I can't wait to go back to win because after the draw of Inter, after the draw of Parma, after the draw of Roma, Napoli, Empoli, it starts to be really a lot. Juventus they really need the 3 points today, so we have the lineups, we have the things that I'm expecting from Thiago Motta and Juve that we can't do and replicate what we did the last week. So let's speak about it. Maximum of like if you're united, please continue to subscribe to the channel because now we start. And sorry for the environment. Ragazzi, we start immediately with the lineups. The latest one, we have Di Gregorio into the goal. There were the doubts, would we go for Di Gregorio, will we go for Perin, because Di Gregorio, according to a lot of people, didn't do well against Parma, and you were right, because on the two goals, probably he could have done something more, especially on one of the two. Di Gregorio is there, and probably will also be there against Lille in Champions League. Savona will be there on the right side. Gatti Kalulu in the middle of the field, Cambiaso on the left. So we can discuss what was better, what is our best defense, because that's the big question. Without Bremer, is it Cambiaso on the right side, Gatti, Kalulu, and on the left side, Cabal, or is it Savona on the right with Cabal in his initial role, the role that Thiago Motta was playing him also at Bologna? But that's a good defense. We'll come back on that. Locatelli in front of the defense if we are playing that 4-1-4-1 with Rea back on the right side, Koopmeiners from the start, Thuram and Yildiz towards the left part of the field, and then you have Dusan Vlahovic on top. So if you're looking at that lineup, of course, the big questions were what about the defense? Who will play? Who will not play? Will we see again Danilo or not? We clearly see, and all the experts are saying no. There will not be Danilo. Gatti, Kalulu are back as our center backs. I was thinking about Cabal. Cabal that since that last international break played all the game and they played them really well, one of the top men, and I believe that Thiago Motta understood that. He really understood that and he said we need him at top level also for the next two games, especially the one of Lille, because you know it after the loss of Stuttgart, it's a bit more complicated. If we had 9 on 9, probably Cabal would have played today. But that's not the case, so Cabal resting Cambiaso back there on the left. Of course, we could argue, was it not better to let Cambiaso rest, because Cambiaso is one of the two players that played more than 1,000 minutes this season. But I think that's a solid defense, one of the defense that played the most of the games and where we were not conceding. You know it, Thiago Motta is looking for some balance, the balance that we lost in the last few games. Locatelli Thuram is a duo that at the moment I don't like that much. I like Locatelli, you know that. I like Thuram, you know that. But both of them together, we miss a bit of creativity, especially if Thuram is playing in that 4-1-4-1. If we are playing that 4-2-3-1, we can possibly argue. That's why I'm really curious to see where Thuram will be on the field. Because if you're expecting Thuram to do the same task in that 4-1-4-1 that, for example, Rabiot was doing last year, Thuram is not yet the Rabiot. I'm not speaking about the level of the player, but in terms of what he's offering, it's a different player. It's one that needs to be there in the more defensive role to take these balls back, recuperate them, and then give them. Is Locatelli the player that you need to give the ball to? We know it. In the first half of Parma, he was one of the slowest players in taking the ball, touching too much the ball. While on the other side, in the second half, he was the best version of the Locatelli, probably also the best man of the game, with one touches, with these penetration balls, the through balls, where he saw the game because he has a fantastic vision. If it's the second half Locatelli, I can agree with a 4-2-3-1, Thuram recuperating, giving to Locatelli, and immediately Locatelli finding the man that is there up front, the number 10 that is back. He will not play the entire game, but Koopmeiners. Koopmeiners that needs now to unlock the creativity there up front that we were missing in the last games. We didn't try with Yildiz as the number 10. We prefer to have him or on the bench resting or on the left side. Wea is going back on the right. After two fantastic performances, Wea is going on the right, but I think it's we don't have a lot of players on the wings. We know that Nico Gonzalez is still injured, so at the moment Wea is playing because he's really in form. Left, right, and we prefer to rest Gonzalez for the same thing that I told you about Cabal. Cabal resting For the Champions League, Conceição exactly the same. Champions League and then international break before that Torino, sorry. And then Dusan Vlahovic. And there I have immediately my question. We are always reading the papers, also in press conference, there is always the question, when will he rest? When will he rest? My big question is, does he need to rest? That's the big question. Then we can argue if he's missing a tap in or not, an easy goal. But if physically the player is fit at 24, why can't he just continue to play? Then if you want to rest him the last 10 minutes, the last 30 minutes of the game, because you are comfortably doing well, or because tactically he's not touching the ball because we cannot find him, that's another discussion. But are we obliged to rest Dusan Vlahovic? That's my big question. What am I expecting from the game of today? Finding balance again, the will for the 3 point. I think that it's important to go in the stadium of Udinese not being scared, not fearing, because if you're looking at the ranking, these guys they have 16 points. That's only two less than Juve, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, they have 16. So today, if they win, they have 19. It's a team that in their stadium they won 5 times on six. The only team that beat them in their stadium was Inter. So we don't need to go there with fear because Udinese will be super convinced, especially because Juventus in Serie A in the last games they are not playing, they are not. Yeah, they lost focus, they lost concentration, they lost balance, and on top of that, they are not winning. So I really believe that if we go there today with fear, not convinced of what we want to do, we could possibly have a problem. So pay attention to that. Well, my computer went crazy. So pay really attention to that. Going there with the will of winning, going there convinced of what we do, going there for the 3 points. Super important. And then when the players are tired, you take them out because Koopmeiners will not play there for the entire game. Can you put Adzic? Can you put Yildiz? Offensive solution will be needed today. But most of all, the mental. That's the most important thing. If we go towards the tactics of Udinese, pay attention, of course, to Tovin, that is the most creative one, the leader of that team, the Frenchman, experience at Marseille, etc., etc., is the one of most quality. So pay attention to him, but especially on the set pieces. Because if we don't score on set pieces, they score on set pieces. They have two players there, especially Lorenzo Luca, that is one of the special players that are monitored, maybe even for January. Pay attention to Luca, and when they have these set pieces, there is also Davis that is going up. So they have these two towers there that we really need to pay attention on corner kicks, on set pieces. Luca will be dangerous, will be really a threat. I don't know who will man mark him. Will it be Kalulu? Will it be Gatti? But that's a player that we really need to man mark because he can really create a danger there. And then when they are building from the back, they always build with four, with Bijol that goes up a bit to take that ball to create actually the start there from the back. It's a team that is also knowing how to press. They know how to press, so we need really to pay attention to Udinese to prepare then the game against Lille. We will speak again about Lille. I just tell you that yesterday they played. They did 1-1 against Lyon. They played in their home. The next game in Champions League against Juve is in their home, so they don't travel. And on top of that, they have 1 day of recoup more. While Juve, they travel today. They will travel to Lille, to France. It's not that easy. It's not that easy because they are super informed. And Jonathan Davis, that I was criticizing a bit because he didn't do that step up. Looks like this season is the season of Jonathan David with already 9 goals scored if we are combining the 3 goals of Champions League and the 6 of Liga. So we need to pay attention there. Ragazzi, that was it for my latest update of today. Do I have something else that I need to say? No, I think that I said everything. I hope you hear me well because I cannot control. If yes, you let me know. Don't forget the maximum of like and also follow me on Instagram, on Twitter because I will post some updates so that you are keeping up to date with what we will do today. Grazie forza. Juve. Ciao.